Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. My name is George Kingori. I'm your online finance guy who speaks about all things finance. How you can be able to save, how you can be able to invest, and how you can be able to grow in your financial outlook. And today I'm going to ask some questions to Kenyan banks because I'm a customer in some of these banks, and sometimes I have questions and wonder sometimes about these banks. So what are these questions that I have? So the first question I have is, why do you charge maintenance fee, account maintenance fee? Why should I pay you to keep money in my account only for you to take that money and loan to someone else? Why should you charge me for having money in my account? It seems to me like it is a double standard where you use my money to make money and still charge me to have my money. I think it's a little bit unfair and quite questionable if you ask me. The other question that I have for you is, why don't you communicate changes? When you make changes to the accounts, when you change charges, when you change policies, why don't you communicate these changes and policies to your customers on a timely fashion so that if people cannot be able to go through with your policies, they might as well leave the account or open a different type of account? Why should you surprise somebody by saying that you have a free account only for you to charge later on without prior notice? In fact, that is quite dishonest for a financial institution to do. Communicate on time and tell people of any changes in policy, in costs, and any such issues that have come up as regards to their accounts. The other thing that I wonder is, why don't your apps work all the time? Your apps are very fickle. One time they are working, the next time they are not working, and the next time you are not able to do a transaction. Sometimes they hang along the way. You are trying to do, but it stops working, and your transactions stop. You either have to go from the start, or you have been deducted money, but it has not been transferred if you are doing a transaction, and it is hanging in limbo. So you as a customer have again to call the bank for them to be able to process something that has stalled in their app. So if people have to call you for you to be able to make changes or do transactions that have been stalled by your app, then this is indeed a concerning thing to us. Then the other thing is, why do you charge everything? Somebody withdraws their money, you charge. Somebody writes a check, you charge. Somebody does a transfer, you charge. Somebody asks for a letter of credit, you charge. Somebody asks for a statement, you charge. You charge every single thing. So what do you offer in your account that is different from any other account in any other country? If you charge everything, what kind of a system and a policy do you have? You charge each and everything. Somebody asks for balance of how much money they have in their account through their mobile phone, you charge. Somebody receives a salary, it is banked in their account, you charge. So what is it about all these charges here, there, to everywhere? The other thing that I need to ask is, why is it so hard to acquire a loan? Why do you have to jump hoops and jump ropes to be able to acquire financing? This problem of acquiring financing from our local banks is what is causing Kenyans to go to fraudulent individuals and associations and organizations where they are charged much more interest. In fact, Shylock type of businesses where Kenyans are charged more than 48% per annum on the loans that they acquire. By you denying Kenyans the legal right to be able to acquire loans and to be able to get cheap financing, you are relegating them to poverty. So why do you do this? Why do you go to the extent of taking all your money and putting in government bills, competing with Kenyans for investment opportunities when you should be providing financing for these very Kenyans? Maybe you need to go back to your plans and objective on your setting up of your bank. What is your primary objective? If your primary objective is to get money from Kenyans to invest through government bonds, then why are you operating and calling yourself a bank? These are questions that I have, questions that make me wonder sometimes. Then the other thing is, You have a whole bank branch. It has 6 counters, but only 2 are working. One counter has a guy who is overworked and is diligent and is working hard. The next counter has a lady who is appearing and disappearing, appearing and disappearing, and has an attitude from here to Timbuktu. Why do you operate 2 counters with one ill-mannered employee while the other one is overworked? When you look through the window, you realize there are many people who are working at the back office there. So they're taking tea and making stories, while customers are lining up at your branch. Especially with these COVID times, why do you still do such funny behaviors? If you have 6 counters, then at least have half of them working. Why should you have 6? It doesn't even make sense. So these are questions that I have, and I wonder whether you have answers to these questions. The other thing is, why should I, as a customer, need to appear physically at a bank to be able to sort out an issue, or to open a bank account, or to transfer money up to a certain level? Why should I appear at the bank? Haven't you not automated your systems enough to be able to handle these issues? It begs the question, in COVID times, why should somebody be able to travel? They are working from home but have to travel again to where the bank branch is to be able to get assistance. Indeed, this is poor customer service, and you really need to amend this if indeed you are going to take over other countries beyond Kenya. Then the other thing is, why do contact people have no knowledge? You make a call and you are asking something, but the person who is receiving the call, the contact person at the bank, does not have knowledge. They have to again to hang up or keep you waiting in line as they ask for this information to others. It makes even more issues when you are calling during the weekends when there are no other people in the office. You call and maintain your line, and you are cut money as you call, and you are not even receiving any help from these contact people. Why do you employ contact people who do not help customers at all? The other unfortunate thing is that you look for customer service from third-party firms. So these firms are not even employees of the bank. They do not make head or tail of your requests. In fact, they just offer PR services and PR answers. It is like they are given a script on what they need to answer. I know sometimes you might be trying to cut down costs, but please have competent staff who are helping people with their issues and with their problems, and people who are actually meeting the objectives of the bank. Because remember, these people are in contact with your customers, and the easiest way to lose customers is to have poor customer service. So the other thing that I need to ask is, why are opening other currency accounts so expensive? Why should it cost you an arm and a leg to have a USD account or a Euro account in Kenya? Why should you be charged $5 or €5 to withdraw from your Kenyan bank account in an ATM? $5, €5 for a withdrawal, no matter the amount. Why should you be charged more than €5 for money that is received in your dollar or Euro account? Why is this currency account so expensive? Is it more work to be able to handle these transactions with different currencies? Is it not the same bank account? Is it not the same ATM? Is it not the same bank? Is it not the same bank branch? Why should it be charged a premium? Or is it that you have categorized customers who can be able to open these bank accounts with USD and Euro denominations as rich people who can be able to pay for premium services even though they are not receiving any premium services? So these are the questions that I need to ask myself. Because remember, you are not competing with other Kenyan banks. You are now competing with other platforms that can be able to allow Kenyans to be able to hold multi-currency accounts, Visa cards and MasterCards. So why should they be customers in your branch if they are overcharged and mistreated like you do? Then the other thing that I need to ask is, why do you use CRB to punish Kenyans? You are so keen on punishing people when they delay in making a payment. And when it is your fault and you have accrued a certain amount to a customer which is fictitious on your end, you are so slow to even sort out the issue with CRB. Why should they have a poor credit rating? Because of sometimes your mistakes, and you do not want to admit or clear these mistakes to help Kenyans have a good credit record. So those are issues that you need to take care of, because your work is not just holding money and charging people for having accounts with your bank. Your work is to provide excellent financial services, not mediocre kind of things. Then the other thing I need to ask is, why do you have suspicious or dubious deductions? If you're going to charge for something, then charge it and have a line against it. Why should you charge money when money is being received, say in a salary, and deduct behind the scenes, so that when money comes it is deducted automatically? Why don't you charge it outright rather than having dubious hidden costs and transactions? If you're going to have an account maintenance fee, show it is an account maintenance charge. Don't hide it between transactions, so that when somebody is, unless somebody looks at their statement very keenly, they might not be able to note that you have withdrawn some money from that account. It creates an impression that you are mischievous. So stop doing these dubious deductions that are not seen at the front end when the customer is looking at their statements, but they have to go with a calculator to be able to see these transactions. And you know these banks, and you customers know these banks, so you need to change this behavior. The other question is, why should customers go to social media, to Twitter and to Facebook, so that they can be able to be helped by the bank? When customers raise questions on their bank accounts, they do not receive responses. It takes a long time for them to receive responses. Actually, they only receive responses when somebody has posted this issue in social media. Why should you be doing firefighting as regards to customer service? You should be more proactive rather than be reactive because of fear that your name is being spoiled in the social media platforms. Why should Kenyans go to that route to be able to get their services right? That behavior is quite questionable. Then the other thing is, why should people inform you when they are traveling abroad? Why should your bank cards not work in certain countries? Why should somebody tell you that they are going? Where is it written that they should seek permission from you first before they can go to another country to use their bank card? It is questionable. It makes it difficult, especially for people who are traveling all the time. Why should they keep telling you all the time that I am traveling, that I need to use this ATM, this other country, and do these other transactions? Why is it difficult to be able to do these transactions? So make life easy for Kenyans. Don't make it difficult for Kenyans. Then the other thing that we need to tackle is, why are there so many charges as regards to international travel charges? So many charges that come. So not only the amount for forex trading or forex exchange issues, also there is your amount that you are charging as a Kenyan bank, and there is a foreign amount that you are charged from using that foreign ATM or that foreign bank. So it is like 3 charges in one transaction. Why should you charge excessively? I do understand that the foreign bank may ask for an amount, but why are you as a Kenyan bank still charging this person this extra amount for withdrawing this amount of money? These are questions that you need to answer because they are critical to what Kenyans desire of you. The other thing is credit cards. Why do you use credit cards to punish Kenyans? Why do you charge excessive amounts of money and change policies as regards to credit cards and any penalties that are accruing to these to these cards, especially when customers are dissatisfied with your service? Why are you punitive, especially when customers want to decline cards. That is when you bring charges that were years and years before with their penalties, while the clear statement beforehand did not show it. These are questionable behaviors. Why do you have to do this to customers that have been working with you, despite the fact that they want to get out of this credit card? So a customer looks at their credit card, it is nil balance, and says they want to go, only for them to be told, no, you have this amount that you need to pay, that has not been clear at the point that they want to close this account. Again, questionable behaviors of customer service. Then the other question is, why do you advertise for mortgages, yet you know that you are not going to issue these mortgages to Kenyans? You have capped the amount of mortgages that you want to give. In fact, you just want to give to people of certain who work in certain organizations, government, and things like that. Why do you even advertise them if you're not going to offer these services to Kenyans? Again, why should you charge an interest rate the same equivalent to taking an unsecured bank loan? Remember, these mortgages are secured against the property the person is taking. So why should you again charge them a higher amount of money? I thought in my simple mind that secured credit is cheaper than unsecured credit. So why should you charge mortgages the same rate as unsecured personal loans? You need to answer these questions, because I do not understand this behavior. The other question I need to ask you is, should I be a civil servant to be able to access financing and for projects? Because you are so quick and so aggressive on giving loans to civil servants, but the ordinary Kenyans who have businesses, the ordinary Kenyans who are employed in private sector, do not want to offer this credit. So are these banks just for civil servants? So these are questions that you need to answer, because indeed I find myself questioning all the time why you have to go through this route. And I'm sure Kenyans have much more questions, and I want you Kenyans to be able to leave these questions down, because these Kenyan banks need to be accountable now. So if you have these questions, leave a comment. If you find this video interesting, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel, so that I can be able to have more and more videos to be able to highlight issues financial as regards to your financial growth. So thank you and enjoy your